listening to all of the various comments here. It's quite interesting. It's frustrating. I hear some of the messaging from my colleague who spoke just previous to my remarks here. These are serious issues. I don't have to tell any of you that. I get frustrated when we hear that competition is alive and well from Mr. Lee, and that's not what I hear from my constituents. I hear from constituents, for example, one of my constituents who's lost their coverage 3 times. And they had a plan that they wish they could have kept. Of course, they were promised they could keep it. And I won't belabor that point too much, Mr. Lee, but that is one of those promises that is very frustrating. I know you worked for Secretary Sebelius. Is that accurate? And we hear various numbers of individuals who are now covered with insurance who didn't previously have insurance. It makes me wonder how accurate those numbers are when I hear from constituents who have lost their plans, who had a plan, obviously, and maybe the constituent who lost her coverage 3 times, has she been counted 3 different times as though the plan is wildly successful because she signed up for 3 different plans, 3 different occasions, and not by her own choosing. But I worry that there are fewer choices for consumers out there rather than more choices. I worry that there's less competition. I worry that we have the risk corridor issue that's out there. The assumptions were that there would be a balance between plans losing money and plans making money. That hasn't taken place, obviously. The co-ops, I mean, the Nebraska-Iowa Co-Opportunity Health was the first co-op to collapse, 120,000 people. I wonder how many times those people have been counted in these numbers we hear tossed around in terms of the number of individuals covered. But we have also seen how many insurers are choosing to pull out of various markets, not just the failure of co-ops, but various markets that insurers are pulling out of. Mr. White and Mr. Condalucci, how were the bill's drafters and HHS so wrong about the risk corridor program?
I'll jump in to say, when the drafters were drafting the ACA, it was well established that the individual market pre-ACA was dysfunctional. So the drafters endeavored to incorporate minimum standards, guarantee issue, which allows access to folks with pre-existing conditions, to make the market a much more functional market. Sadly, as I think has been established by the witnesses here in the discussion today, the market is just, it's not a functional market. It's functioning, but is not a functional market, even post-ACA. But to your question, and the reason why I bring up the drafters, is due to the reforms, the drafters knew that there would be significant disruption in the individual market. So as a result, they created the stabilization programs, the risk corridor, risk adjustment, and reinsurance program. Risk corridor, the drafters did expect, and I believe, as did HHS expect, that there would indeed be the same amount of carriers asking for a risk corridor payment or making a request for a risk corridor payment due to their losses associated with insuring higher risk individuals, which would be balanced out by carriers that would be insuring younger, healthier individuals. And due to the fact that, as we've established, younger and healthier individuals have not entered the risk pool, the insurance carriers had suffered the losses, and more significant losses compared to insuring those better risks.
Okay, shifting gears just a little bit because of the interest of time here. We now know that the president is calling for a public option. Secretary Clinton is now calling for a public option. With the wild failure of the co-ops within Obamacare occurring, I mean, is there any reason we would believe that somehow that would be a better situation? I struggle to think that it would be. I mean, with the federal backstop that was out there, that's spending, gobs of money, taxpayer dollars to try to prop up these plans. I just fear that we would see a different kind of failure within a public option. And my time has expired. I regret that, but if you would care to respond in writing, perhaps I'd be happy to hear each of your perspectives. We've got folks on both sides of the issue here. I would love to hear more in terms of what your perspectives are moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pascrell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr.